Installed HVAC system components and devices. The reference for these procedures is going to be the reference appendices RA 3.4. Again, can be found at that particular link, or it's also available for you to download on the LMS. So the purpose of these procedures is to verify that residential space cooling systems and heat pumps have the required components to achieve the energy efficiency claimed in the compliance documents. And the overall training goal is to identify HVAC system components and devices requiring HERS inspection and familiarize yourself with testing procedures and associated paperwork. These are the components and devices that we're going to be talking about, and obviously we're also going to be covering the forms associated with these inspections.
The fault indicator display, or FID, is a piece of equipment that is installed. Oftentimes it's going to be either adjacent to or part of the existing thermostat. And what it does is it monitors and reports on the status of the refrigerant charge in the system. And this reports back to the occupant through the display on the particular piece of equipment. Now, because of this, this is basically an alternative method of complying with the refrigerant charge verification, because it is monitoring that refrigerant charge. So you don't have to do a subcool or superheat or weigh in. Installing contractor has to do that as part of the initial charge process, but for you to verify, you'll simply indicate whether or not this equipment's working properly. Now, in order for this equipment to be installed and to be used for this verification, it does have to be submitted by the manufacturer for certification to the CEC, and the CEC has to approve it, and basically that approval states that it meets the requirements within the standards for that type of equipment. Now, in the past, this credit's been around for quite a while. It did recently change. It used to be called the Charge Indicator Display, or CID. It is now the FID, Fault Indicator Display, and equipment is in the works, but as of right now, there are no FID pieces of equipment certified, but we will train you on it in the case that a FID does get certified by the CEC. So the verification procedure shall consist of three things. The first one is to confirm that the device is installed on the system. This can be several pieces, the display either as part of a thermostat or next to it, as well as some temperature sensors and whatnot out on the system. Next, you're going to confirm that the device meets the CEC specifications, and to do that, you're simply going to get the make and model number of the installed equipment and verify that it has been approved and exists on the CEC's approved equipment list. And then third, you're going to confirm that the space conditioning system complies with one of the following three procedures. And this is for different types of equipment as well as different outdoor temperatures. So the first one is for an FID with self-diagnostic reporting. And this is when the air temperature is less than 55 degrees. The FID without self-diagnostic, again, less than 55, or both types, both self-diagnostic and without, when the outdoor air temperature is equal to or greater than 55 degrees. So let's start with the FID with self-diagnostic reporting, and this is if the outdoor temperature is less than 55 degrees. So the installer has to use the weigh-in method, again because it is less than 55 degrees, when they confirm the initial refrigerant charge on the system. Then when you as the HERS rater need to come out to verify, you're simply going to visually verify the installation of the equipment and that the self-diagnostic reporting function is working within the correct equipment parameters. So you may need to get the user manual for the equipment to verify how it functions and make sure that any reporting on the device, whether it's a readout, whether it's a green light, red light, however that is, make sure that it is reporting and it's reporting in a passing state. If it says that the charge is incorrect, then you will need to notify the installing contractor, and they'll have to come out and correct it before you can pass off that system. Now, for systems that do not have that self-diagnostic reporting feature and the outdoor temperature is less than 55, again, the installer has to use the weigh-in method because it is below 55 degrees. However, the HERS rater, you will have to delay your verification until the temperature rises above 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Once you have that situation, then you will run the cooling system for at least 15 minutes. And that's to let the pressures and everything equalize within the system, just like a standard refrigerant charge test. And you will verify that the FID reports that the system is operating within acceptable parameters. Again, you may need the user manual to identify how it displays those parameters and whether it is passing or failing. And finally, for both types of devices, and you have an outdoor temperature that is equal to or greater than 55 degrees, the installer now has the option. They can use either the weigh-in or standard charge method to confirm the installation of that refrigerant charge. And then you, as the HERS rater, will run the cooling system for at least 15 minutes and verify that the FID reports the system operating within acceptable parameters. So this would be more like your standard refrigerant charge verification.
The time delay relay is another component or HVAC device. What it does is once you turn off the air conditioning in a home, it keeps the compressor going for at least 30 seconds longer in order to dissipate the residual pressure in that compressor and prevent damage to it. When a system rating specification includes a time delay relay, the installation of the time delay relay shall be verified. So once you're verifying a certain combination type, the system combination will specify whether there's supposed to be a time delay relay in that system or not. So if it says there's supposed to be, you're supposed to verify it. So it's a very easy procedure. So you turn on the cooling system, you turn up the thermostat so that the compressor stops running, and then you verify the air handler continues to run for at least 30 seconds after the compressor shuts off. If the air handler turns off before 30 seconds, then the verification fails. Now, the energy efficiency ratio and seasonal energy efficiency ratio, EER, or SEER, it's basically the overall efficiency of the condenser and the overall combination of equipment. When the installation of a specific match system equipment is necessary for compliance with requirements for higher than minimum values for system EER or SEER, which you will see on the CF1R, the installed system equipment shall be verified by a HERS rater. The procedure to verify EER and SEER is very basic. First of all, you want to collect make and model number of the installed outdoor unit. You want to collect the make and model number of the installed inside coil and the make and model number of the furnace or air handler when necessary. You then want to verify the TXV or EXV when necessary. Those are the thermal expansion valve or electronic expansion valves. Those are going to be part of the coils. So if they come from the manufacturer, you want to make sure that the coils actually do have a TXV or EXV installed, and you can verify this through the paperwork and visual verification within the actual coil box. If not, then they're not required. And then also you want to verify TDR, or the time delay relay, when necessary, just like we mentioned in the previous procedure.
The verification shall utilize certified rating data from the AHRI Directory of Certified Product Performance. That can be found at either ahridirectory.org or you can download the app on either your Android or Apple device for use. The information that we just spoke of, the furnace, coil, and condenser make and model numbers, as well as whether TDR was used and TXVs, that data will be then input into that directory, and that will produce a certificate that you can use to verify the SEER and EER compliance. So we're going to go ahead and demonstrate the steps needed to search for your products, the furnace coil condenser combinations on the web-based version. The app-based is similar, slightly different, but fairly close. So when you go to ahridirectory.org, you'll come to this screen here, and you'll want to click on Search Product Database, followed by Residential, and then Air Conditioners and Heat Pumps. And then from that final list there in the red box, you're going to select the type of system that you need to verify. That will then take you to this screen here, and there on the left-hand side is where you're going to enter the data that we collected. So go ahead, enter the make and models of the various pieces of equipment. Sometimes less is more when you are doing this. If you don't match your model numbers as they are or as they exist within the directory, it doesn't always find it. So sometimes you might want to go with just a little as the size. For example, your condenser. If it's a 3-ton condenser, you're going to have like 036 or 36 somewhere in that model number. So sometimes it's best to enter in and start small, and then add characters as you go through and kind of refine your results. This newer version of the directory is much better than what we used to have to use, so it's a little bit more user-friendly. And the app version will actually, as you start typing in that model number, it will provide you with options that you can then select from to help you in entering those values. So once you've entered in the information that you need to search for your equipment, go ahead and click on search, and then it's going to produce a list of results there to the right. So here you can see I entered in just some really basic information, not a whole lot there, but it still did produce results, and it's going to start showing you some of those results. So if you need to, you can see in that list there, you can see complete model numbers. And that's what I'm saying. If you start off small and you do a search, and then you can see, okay, well, these are the characters that the directory shows, and then anywhere you see an asterisk, those asterisks means that it could be different characters, and so they don't list those. So you can go ahead and start expanding out your search criteria to match whatever static characters there are. And that'll help you to whittle down your list to something that's a little bit more easy to search through to find the pairing that you're looking for. So this right here does show you the EER and SEER. If you've got the columns kind of over to the right there, you can see 12 and 14 is in those columns. So that's a quick and easy way to verify once you've found the pairing of equipment. You can see right there 12 and 14. If that's what you're looking for, great. That's your confirmation. If you do want to go a little bit further and generate the actual certificate, then you can see where the arrow's pointing there, that little blue hyperlink. That is the AHRI certified reference number. You will need that number for the CF2R and CF3R. It's a required number. But if you click on that hyperlink, it's then going to generate the actual certificate as a PDF, so you can download it and print it or email it or whatever it is that you would like to do with that. So here is what the actual certificate looks like. You can see there at the top, I've highlighted or I've circled in the box the AHRI number, so it also has it there. And then down near the bottom there, the other box, you can see there's the SEER and the EER value. So those are both listed on there. So again, this certificate, you don't have to generate this, but you do need to have that reference number. The SEER and EER values do need to meet or exceed, means they need to equal to or better than the values that were modeled on the CF1R. And then those are both going to be entered onto the CF2R as well as the CF3R. You as a HERS rater, you're simply verifying this information should already be there on the CF2R. Makes your job a little bit easier. You should be able to just type in that AHRI reference number, search it, verify that those values are correct, and that's all you need before you sign off on the CF3R.
So there's a learning activity within the LMS that's going to help you navigate the HRI directory website and to give you a little experience on how to use it and what to look for. So go ahead and complete the additional learning activity to get additional practice and experience with the verification of equipment efficiency on the AHRI directory. Also, please keep in mind that during your field test, you're going to need to show that you're able to do this. So get as much practice as you can. And now we'll be talking about the forms specifically used for these verifications. So the CF3R MEC25 Delta is used specifically when verifying a CID or charge indicator display device. The CF3R MEC26 is used to verify the SEER, the EER, the TXV, and the TDR. If you have any additional questions, again, feel free to contact us via messaging system, email, or give us a call.